10 years ago, I painted this scene of the 12 Apostles, which is along the Great Ocean Road in Australia. Although I was pretty happy with the painting, and still am, but I felt like I didn't do it justice. So I wanted to revisit this painting again, or painting this location, knowing what I know now after painting solidly for the last 10 years and improving my painting techniques. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the process of how I'm creating this painting, and I'm going to be making a few videos on this because I haven't actually done the final painting yet, but I've already done the initial designing part and I'm well underway with a study that I'm working on at the moment. In fact, it's right behind me, it's almost finished, but I'm going to be using the painting behind me as a study for the main painting. So first of all, I just want to talk about how I begin with a new painting project. So one of the things is I don't just get straight into a painting. In fact, I'd really advise against that. I used to do this for years myself, where I'd just copy direct from a photo, get straight into a painting, and then I'd wonder why my paintings weren't working or the compositions looked terrible, and I'd end up wasting a lot of time with my paintings, having to either correct things, or worse still, if I had to give up on the painting altogether, and that is really frustrating. So with this scene, I got the reference photos that I was going to use, and actually I just had 2 reference photos that were pretty good. In fact, actually they're not the best photos. I took them with my iPhone when I was visiting this location, but I've been able to use these, and I used these as my reference and started planning the design process. Now, I originally visited this location 10 years ago with artist Andrew Tischler, and he showed me this location as he's been there before, and we stayed there overnight. So the original painting that I did was from some photos I took of the 12 Apostles in the afternoon, and then this new one I'm doing is from a different lighting angle because it was from some photos that I took the following morning, and the light and the shadows was different, but really quite striking. So I have definitely been wanting to paint this for years. So anyway, I got my reference photos here, and the first thing that I do before I get into the painting is I start thinking about the composition. So I do thumbnail sketches. So what these are just quick 5-10 minute sketches that you can do to start planning the composition. And the cool thing about this is you're not investing too much time in the design process. So you've got the opportunity here to try lots of different compositions. Now, as it happens, the 12 Apostles naturally forms a pretty good composition anyway, so I wasn't gonna change too much. A new thing that I've been trying as well lately is I've been using these marker pens that are different shades of grey, ranging from black to white and a load of greys and mid-tones in between. And I've been doing these little value sketches, thumbnail sketches, using these pens, and they just give a really nice sort of artistic feel to it. I think better than pencils, at least for doing the thumbnail sketching. Whichever way you want to do it, using pencils or value markers, this is something I really strongly recommend, because having a process for your painting is actually going to go a long way to help you improve your painting technique so that you can create repeatable results every time. Now, once I'd done the value sketches here with the marker pens, I decided on the composition that I wanted, and then I did a pencil sketch. Now, a pencil sketch really serves many functions of importance, and it will help you more than you realize. Now, I speak to a lot of artists because I coach artists, and a lot of them, when I say start doing some pencil sketches, they're not keen on the idea, and I'll be honest, I wasn't either. In fact, when my art mentor told me to start sketching, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't really been doing it, and I kind of felt a bit silly. I was like, oh, I should be doing it, but then I thought, oh, sketching, it's kind of a bit lame, but you know what, I wanted to improve my art, so I did what my mentor told me and started sketching, and the more I did it, the more I really saw the benefits in pencil sketching. I find that the ideas start flowing. You start really starting to understand the scene that you're about to paint. But most importantly, apart from it helping you to better understand composition, it helps you to understand the tonal values, which are the lights and darks in the scene. And this is the most important thing, I think, in painting, in creating depth and distance. You can also do the same with drawing as well. You can create depth and distance in your drawing by understanding the tonal values, the lights and darks in the scene. And we'll find our darkest darks and our lightest lights in the foreground. Then as landforms recede, darks aren't as dark and lights aren't as light. So when it comes to sketching this, I use a range of pencils from 4H all the way to 8B. So 4H is going to produce a light mark. It's a hard pencil. So these are really good for shading things in the distance. And usually for distant landforms, I'll probably use a range of like 4H to 8B, and then I won't go any darker than that. But then for elements in the foreground where we got darker shadows, I might use a 6B or an 8B for those dark shadows, and also use my full range of pencils. So this is the importance, in my opinion, of pencil sketching. The other thing is it's going to help you with your drawing skills and help you to better understand perspective, and that alone is going to transfer into your painting. So I really recommend you do this. As I say, having a process is going to help you to improve your painting overall. So at this stage, I'd done the pencil sketches, and then the next thing I did after that, and this is something you don't need to do every time, but if you're struggling with creating that sense of depth and distance in your paintings, then I would do a value study. And I did this because actually these pencil drawings and the painting that I'm doing, that I'm going to be showing you in this video or the following videos as well, I actually did this live with my painting group and showing them the process from start to finish. So actually I'm going to have these videos available for you in the future. I'll give you more details about that later on. But anyway, I did with my group a value study. So again, this is an exercise that you can do if you're struggling to create depth and distance in your paintings. And what we do is we use 3 colors: ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and titanium white. So when you combine ultramarine blue and burnt sienna together, it's gonna create black, because burnt sienna is a dark orange and orange is opposite to blue on the color wheel. So when they combine, they cancel each other out. And then we're gonna use the titanium white to get all the different mid-tones that we need, all the grays. So we can mix some grays here as well, and then literally just doing a quick painting that's going to help you to understand the lights and darks. So it's just a black and white painting, and you've got all the mid-tones in there. But most importantly, as well as helping you to understand tonal values, it's a soft introduction into color mixing. So if you've been struggling with color mixing, you can actually use these colors in a lot of shadows that you'll find in the landscape. So you can use them for clouds, you can use them for rock shadows, shadows in mountains, hills, all sorts of things, even painting tree trunks and tree stems, things like that, branches. So it's the most really versatile color mix that you can use. So that's a reason as well I sometimes paint a value study. Generally I paint value studies more when I'm demonstrating my paintings and coaching my students, but you know, sometimes it's worth just doing a value study anyway. But you don't need to do a value study every time you do a painting. But as I say, if you're struggling with creating depth and distance, I would recommend this. So that wraps that up for this part of the video, so the design process. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how I painted the 11 by 14 inch painting that I did, so the one behind me here, a study of the 12 apostles. And what I'm going to do is, when I finish this painting, because actually at the time of recording this video I haven't finished it, there's still some work left to do on it, but after that I'm going to use this as a study for a larger painting. So it's all about seeing the road ahead and having that process. Now then, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to learn more about painting, then check out my art school. I've put a link in the description box below, and as I say, this painting project that I'm making these videos about, in a few weeks time the full videos are going to be available to watch at my art school. So check that out there, the link is in the description box below. Also, if you'd like to learn more about painting seascapes, then check out this video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next part of this installment, where I'll show you how I painted the study. See you then.